guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in CRL Asia Clash Royale. This is my first video on CRL Asia. However, I've done a bunch on CRL China. I'll make a CRL only playlist so you guys can keep up with this series. Really enjoy covering this stuff with you guys because let's be honest here, it's tough to get a hold of this gameplay sometimes. And the story so far going into week 6 of CRL Asia is Japan dominance. Japan dominance. You guys can see on the screen right now is the leaderboard. We have Game with Ponos Esports in Fave Gaming 1, 2, and 3 rank right now, with Bren Esports in 4th. The first 3 orgs are all Japan based. The other orgs, Korea and Southeast Asia, have just proven thus far to be rather inconsistent compared to Japan. And we're going to focus on the 3 remaining undefeated players in CRL Asia. Shun, who you're definitely going to want to get acquainted with on the left side of your screen right now. Look at him playing this really off-meta 3 Musketeer deck. An amazing player is undefeated, along with Amaterasu, along with Organge Boy. So those are the 3 undefeated players. We're going to watch 1 or 2 games of all of those players in today's video. And again, just the thing about Japan is that Fuchi, actually, one of the first and most well-known players in Japan, is known mainly for being super off meta, and it looks like that is a reoccurring theme, at least based on all the replays that I've seen so far. I also, before we get into the play-by-play, want to give a quick shout to my main man Chizen. I message him practically on a daily basis, trying to keep informed with what's going on in the league, what are the updated standings, what are matches that I need to highlight. So huge shout out to you, Chiz, for providing me kind of these tips on what to look for in the CRL Asia League. So here we go, guys. You can see the cool thing, or the unfortunate thing I should say, about Shun's deck here is there's no log in the deck, so his only real counter to the Goblin Barrel of Fuchi here is just guards and zap. That's about it. So he's going to be taking some serious damage to that left tower now that Fuchi has kind of zoned in on it, and he's going to be chipping away the entire match. This match, along with the next one, guys, are absolutely incredible. This one goes a ways into overtime, but both matches I found myself asking at one point, knowing that Shun, I already know that Shun's going to win them both, but I found myself asking, how? How is he going to win this? And you can see the rocket comes down, getting a tremendous rocket value there. I think that Shun wasn't sure if Fuchi was running the NATO version or the rocket version. Well, he just found out there it is indeed, to his detriment, it's going to be the rocket version. So here we go. We're going to get maybe a little bit of chip damage here with the Dark Goblin on the left lane, but he does a good job kind of using the Ice Spirit to reset that Dark Goblin. But you can see we finally get a little bit of damage, but the problem is we're splitting our damage. So Fuchi's doing a really good job here. As a matter of fact, in both of these matches, you would be hard-pressed to find big misplays at all by Fuchi. Maybe at the very end of the next one, but I don't want to give away any spoilers. You can see him cycling princesses, Fuchi that is, at this point. He just had 3 alive, now he has 2 alive. One of the themes of a good bait player, one of the most important focuses, is getting as many princesses on the board as possible, especially in this circumstance, being that Shun doesn't have any big spell in his deck, and he doesn't even have logs, so there's no way to really remove these princesses. And again, it's another princess cycled in front of the tower by Fuchi. So at this point in the match, you have to admire Shun's kind of tenacity. You can see him, he's in the zone. Both of these players here, look at their faces. They're absolutely locked in here on what is, you know, one of the biggest competitions of their lives, certainly, even though Fuchi does have experience doing very well in CCGS World Finals. Anyway, here we go. It's going to be 2 princesses again in the left lane. Really annoying having to deal with these princesses, and you can see we can't afford to be taking too much damage to our left tower here. It's already down to 892. Look at that value rocket going right into the 3 Musketeers there. So all of a sudden, just like that, we're forced to play a little bit more kind of on our toes defense. Our left tower goes down to 610. This Dark Goblin's going to finish off 1 princess, but not the other one. We're going to keep offensive here with the battle ram in the right lane, but bam, just barely does not connect. So you can see here, we're like halfway into sudden death overtime, and things are not looking too great. Remember, Fuchi has rocket, so all he needs is 2 rockets here. That's why it's going to be paramount that Shun uses at every possible moment. He uses 3 musketeers, so that way he can bait out the rocket, or at least put the opponent on his toes, make him play defense. And you can see the right lane here. We got a lock. We got a lock in the left lane too. Man, what an epic finish there. Fuchi trying to get maybe a little bit of a log cycle in there, started focusing a little bit too much on offense, and man, it came back to haunt him there. So here we go. We are right into match number 2, guys. It's going to be Shun again on the bottom and Fuchi on the top here. You can see that Fuchi has opted to ban the elixir pump, meaning that both players, a lot of people don't realize that if you haven't been watching these streams or competitive Clash Royale, when you ban a card, both players are prevented from playing it. So despite the elixir pump ban here by Fuchi, Shun is still going to play a Golem deck, and it's a Golem deck with double dragons. I'll call it the double dragon deck, right? So I really love seeing this sort of off-meta Golem deck with rocket in it instead of the pump, but you still see the double dragons, you see the Night Witch. It's just an interesting version of a Golem beatdown deck, and this one's going to be an absolutely incredible match. Again, Fuchi playing off-meta too with a Valkyrie skeleton barrel deck. It's going to be a difficult matchup again here for Shun. The problem being is he's going to be forced to rocket that Goblin Hut every single time that Fuchi plays it. Can be incredibly annoying, and those goblins can do a ton of chip damage, not to mention lure out that Golem and cause him to be redirected from the tower. So it's going to be a challenging matchup, especially even with the Ewiz, which does a really good job, obviously, against not only the Golem against a beatdown deck, but also against the Inferno Dragon. Kind of mitigates that, and you're going to see Shun struggle with that throughout the match. This is going to be a match that you guys are going to really appreciate the ending. Let me tell you, guys, a little foreshadowing. It's good. It's really, really good. Just when you think that Shun has no shot at all. So here we go. It's going to be an Ewiz against a Night Witch. Ewiz going to nice and easily take care of that Night Witch. Now a little bit of a mini push here coming in from Fuchi in the right lane. It's going to be a Valkyrie. We're going to draw that Valkyrie as close as we can to the center of the arena there. That way she can't just immediately kill those guards, even though it was pretty quick work. Here comes a skeleton barrel and an Ewiz. Now Shun decides to put the baby dragon on top of the Inferno Dragon, and then it just allows Fuchi to go ahead and reload with another Ewiz. So kind of annoying here, and meanwhile our right tower falls to 1374 HP. So things, again, not looking great here, but we do have a little bit of an advantage going into double elixir time. We're actually well into double elixir time now. So here we go. Golem does get to that Goblin Hut, but unfortunately you can see the Ewiz and the Valkyrie doing pretty good work here, taking care of not only the Golem, but also, again, mitigating that Inferno Dragon with the Ewiz reset ability. So here it comes again, another aggressive rocket, trying to rain down on that Goblin Hut, prevent those Goblin Huts from stacking up here. So we're going to have to play some defense. We're going to need an answer to that skeleton barrel. In this case, we're going to use a log. That will clean up, do a little bit of damage, get that miner off the tower temporarily, and clean up those skeletons. So you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Things not looking so hot. We haven't done really any damage to their towers, very minimal damage, and our tower's down to 775 HP. We put the baby dragon out in front this time. Baby dragon is going to go ahead and encounter this Ewiz here, and you can see this situation is starting to get a little bit do or die here for Shun. That Ewiz, unfortunately, out of range of the tower too, so it does a lot of damage. It provides incredible value. It takes out so many units here, and it ends up killing the Night Witch and her bats as well. So here it comes, guys. This is the I think this is the push, or it might be the next one. Anyway, here it comes the rocket. It's going to be the next one. Rocket rains down. It's going to go ahead and kill that Ewiz. So the Inferno Dragon kind of sits there in the middle of the arena, but, you know, getting a decent value considering it was pretty much, you know, unsupported there, taking out that Dark Goblin. But hey, guys, we're in trouble here, going all the way down to 499 HP on that right tower. Shun's going to go ahead and stay focused here. You can see his face. He does not look panicked at all. Fuchi actually looks a little bit more nervous right now than Shun does. Maybe it's just their demeanor, though. Either way, there comes an offensive fireball just a few seconds ago there by Fuchi, really trying to get that tower into log fireball range. Has a little bit of ways to go here. So here it comes. This is going to be the push that wins it for Shun. How does he do it with only 298 HP left on his tower? Well, Well, guess what, guys? It's actually going to be the left tower that goes down here for Shun. Check this out. No E-Wiz left in cycle. The aggressive miner there by Fuchi leaves the Inferno Dragon unchecked in the left lane. Inferno Dragon charged up fully, takes down that left tower. Fuchi is devastated, and can you blame him? He played that match perfectly up until the very end, when maybe he got a bit too aggressive with that miner. Didn't expect the Inferno Dragon to be lured or kited into the opposite lane there, and then he had no answer. Only one E-Wiz to play, couldn't play it in both lanes, and ends up taking the L there, being swept by Shun, remaining undefeated Shun. All right, let's move on to the next undefeated player we have, and it is Amaterasu, and he's going to be playing a really interesting Xbow deck. Now, this Xbow deck is off meta because it has Mini P.E.K.K.A in it. It also has, here they come, cue them, cue the fire spirits. There they go. It's a double spirit deck. It has fire and ice spirit in this deck, along with ice golem, providing still that really fast cycle power, but it also allows you to have a big tank killer like the Mini P.E.K.K.A in the deck, making it a little bit more viable against Goizen and beatdown than Xbow matchups typically are. So here we go. We're going against Ray Baggis here. He's playing a kind of classic bait deck, but Dark Goblin, and that's something that I wanted to mention to you guys earlier in this video. Dark Goblin usage rates are incredibly high in CRL Asia, yet I don't see them a lot in the meta in like RPL or in the West, so to speak. So I wonder if they see something in the Dark Goblin that a lot of other pros in the West don't necessarily see, or maybe it's just me. Maybe I haven't noticed it yet. You're going to notice one habit here by Amaterasu is that he does not choose to ever use the log on the Goblin barrel. Rather, he decides to save that to Elixir and support the Xbow instead, knowing that the Xbow will definitely help out against those goblins from the Goblin barrel. So you're going to see every time the Xbow will end up killing those goblins, he'll take a couple hundred damage, but then he'll be able to save the log, use it to support the Xbow on offense, or use it in other scenarios. So again, here it comes. It's the Goblin barrel. Xbow's going to take care of the Goblin barrel. We're going to have enough Elixir instead to play that Mega Minion right on that miner, and now we're kind of well situated here. The Dark Goblin actually goes on to the Mega Minion, and then we play the Ice Spirits and Fire Spirits at the river there. They're going to hop the river, kill the Dark Goblin, and now things are all of a sudden looking really good here for Amaterasu, who, by the way, did I mention is also undefeated in CRL Asia. So here it comes. It's an Xbow with the Mini P.E.K.K.A. We're going to go ahead in Ice Spirit. That failed. However, Fire Spirits are going to clean up very nicely here. Even if we can get a temporary, really minimal short lock on this Xbow, which we don't, but it's still going to be pretty valuable. So this time it's going to be a Mini P.E.K.K.A against the Goblin barrel. That is not going to be our ideal counter here, but things are still looking pretty decent here with 3 seconds left in OT, or in regulation, excuse me. So Fire Spirits again clean up that horde very nicely. It's Fire Spirits are an interesting card, right? I mean, they're definitely not meta. They're definitely not the best card in the game, but I do feel like they are underrated in the sense that they can provide a lot of value against a lot of decks in the meta, especially that Mortar deck that has Minion Horde in it as well. Basically, Three Musketeers, any deck with Minion Horde, you're going to find it being a great fit, the Fire Spirits in your deck. So maybe if you're struggling, especially against swarmy type decks or bait decks, as you can see there again, being able to take down those goblins from the Goblin barrel using the Fire Spirits. However, the miner gets a lot of damage, but it doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen, because one Fireball, which is the last card here from Amaterasu, finishes off that left tower in just the nick of time, so he remains undefeated there. Really interesting Xbow deck. You guys, I'll include a link to all the decks that we're seeing these undefeated players use if you want to go ahead and try them out at home. I'll also include timestamps of these matches in case you want to go back and kind of study a certain matchup and see how the pros played it. So the last guy is Mikan Booyah, aka Organge Boy YouTube. He's a very famous YouTuber in Japan. If you guys aren't subscribed to him, well, you really ought to. Even if you can't understand what he says, the gameplay is absolutely fantastic. He's a phenomenal player, and he's also undefeated. The link to the YouTube channel will be in the description below. He's going to be playing, look at this deck, guys. It's a bait deck with Inferno Dragon. Another thing that we don't necessarily see too often, and that's going to help out a bait deck, which is usually rather susceptible to big beatdown matchups like Lava Hound or Golem. Well, it's going to be much easier to win those matchups now that we have the Inferno Dragon in the deck. So it's kind of like that new meta bait deck with Dark Prince that's been going around for maybe a few weeks now, only adding the Inferno Dragon as well. And you're going to see how well he plays it here. Early on, just trying to kind of feel out the opponent, seeing what Trainer Dexter's has in his deck. And Trainer Dexter, speaking of off meta or Japan meta being different, guess what his last two cards are? I bet nobody can guess them. I bet nobody watching right now can guess the last two cards in his deck. Can you? Because I couldn't. P.E.K.K.A. is one of them. P.E.K.K.A. This guy loves playing P.E.K.K.A. with Giant Prince, and it's something, or Dark Prince, it's something that I've never seen before, but surprisingly, I've seen P.E.K.K.A. in a beatdown deck, a P.E.K.K.A. Golem and P.E.K.K.A. Giant deck in this tournament, and it's really interesting that it seems to be viable, or it seems to be accepted to go with two big kind of tanks. It's kind of like a giant control deck. Really weird. There's some bait elements, a zap bait with the bats and the spear goblins. There's also, I don't know if he plays the P.E.K.K.A. in this match. I think he does. But anyway, it's interesting. I thought it was definitely noteworthy, to say the least. So here comes a Giant and Dark Prince in the left lane. We're going to be able to shut that down with the Inferno Dragon, but check it out. There's the P.E.K.K.A. He does play the P.E.K.K.A. there, knowing that the Inferno Dragon is out of rotation, but look at that beautiful lure. It's going to bring that P.E.K.K.A. into the Inferno Dragon. We're getting so much value out of this Inferno Dragon, ladies and gentlemen. It killed the Giant. It helped out on the Dark Prince. Then it killed the P.E.K.K.A. Now it's still alive and still at full health. That is an MVP Inferno D, ladies and gentlemen. And you can see here at this point in the match, 10 seconds left, there's nothing that Trainer Dexter's can possibly do here. Organge Boy just has it under control. So guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this coverage of CRL Asia. I really enjoy covering these leagues. I hope to do it more often. If you guys keep watching, keep giving me positive feedback on the series, I certainly will. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Huge shout out to Bren Chong. His team, Bren Esports, is 4th right now. Shout out to all the Filipinos out there watching, because Filipinos are the only kind of contenders to the Japanese right now in CRL Asia. So shout out to Bren Chong and all my Filipino viewers, and of course all my Japanese viewers, and all my viewers all over the world. Oh my god, Ash, what are you doing, dude? It's a meltdown. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.